I'm bored. Let's watch Jesterbell. All right, so this video is titled Fantastic Four is Bombing Dramatically. Superhero movies are dead. Even though we have one right now in the box office that's doing really well, which is Superman. Let's watch her video.
Hi, everyone. And you better believe that I am heated today because I've been talking about this for nearly a year now, and we've come to the end of it, and I was proven my initial reactions to all of this right. And I just have so much to say about this. Okay, Fantastic Four, first steps. The MCU's foray into the Fantastic Four is bombing at the box office.
Okay, I covered this a little bit on my Reloaded channel. If you're not subscribed to Eric's Reloaded, head over to my Reloaded channel. I'm going to be uploading more consistent content over there as well, so you'll be getting like multiple videos from me every day now. On that channel, I kind of focus in on just the media itself, and I talk about how I believe that Fantastic Four First Steps can still reach 500 million. I think it's still in sights for 500 million, and I think in the era that we're in with these movies, anything north of 500 million is going to be a good thing. So I talk about it in detail over there. So head over and check that out. But this is an over dramatic reaction to bombing, considering where this film is at the time of me recording this reaction. The movie is not bombing, but she's following the narrative of a lot of these channels. Okay, let's see where she goes with this.
Why? Because it is having a dramatic drop in its second weekend. Now, its first weekend was already coming on behind Superman. But as you could see with the week going out in front of it, it just was not having the good holds that Superman had. And in the end,
there's reasons for that. I believe, I'm going to give you guys like a truncated thing here because I'm going to make a longer video about this on the Reloaded channel as well. I think that they made a tactical error in the release of the film, like where they released it at. In the lineup of July. I think there's a tactical error there. And I think it means more than anything because the film overall, quality-wise, has been seen as a positive. Like, people have enjoyed the movie. Critics have enjoyed it. Fans have enjoyed it. It's got a good cinema score. Even though it's an A- and she wanted to make you think that was bad, it's not. All of those things seem to be moving in the right direction for Marvel. And anybody finding massive flaws in this movie is just, they're exaggerating for hate clout. But yeah, I don't, if we're arguing about the quality of the movie versus where the movie is financially, that's a whole different discussion. Again, I got a video on that very soon.
We're projecting that it might have a 60% drop, which is what I said in my last video, but that projection increased and increased. And now they are projecting that Fantastic Four could have a 66 or even a 67% drop in its second weekend, a near 70% drop for Fantastic Four. And one of the biggest terrible statistics about this is its biggest day on its first weekend was the Friday, and it has dropped. Its second Friday was an 80% drop from.
That's false. That number's false. It wasn't 80%. That's wrong. The math was wrong on that. They've already talked about it. That's already been corrected. But she probably just needed to make this video so quickly she didn't bother to look into the math. There was an issue with that because of including totals from Thursdays and Fridays numbers. Anyway, needless to say, Marvel typically front loads their movies. Historically, they try to make their entire budget back in the first weekend. That is just a historical fact about most Marvel movies. You ask any analyst or anybody that's been doing this for a long time, they'll tell you the same thing. Marvel movies are front loaded. Their legs typically get chopped off around the third week. That's usually where that number happens. So it's a very front loaded franchise in general. They need to fix this moving forward if they want to start sustaining numbers. They can't just go with the front-loaded stuff anymore. But again, that's a different conversation from the one that she's having here. I don't even know if she's going to get into that. I haven't pre-watched this video, so I don't know. Maybe she will.
This is dramatic, and I think it could be even worse than this because what's been happening with Fantastic Four is as low as their projections are, they have been coming in lower. It's the opposite of Superman, where their projections kept coming in just a bit higher than it all.
So then your title, what does this mean? Superhero movies are dead. If Superman is coming in above projections and Fantastic Four is coming below projections, that would say there's probably an issue specifically with Fantastic Four. Yeah.
This is bad. This is really bad. And this has caused such a conversation online. Why? Because this is a Marvel movie. One that got a good Rotten Tomatoes score, was not panned by people, and it's still flopping at the box office because...
Right. It's almost like there's a problem specifically with this film and where it was released and all of you taking all that into account. I would really love to be wrong right now and for her to do a deep dive in this because she got like 18 minutes left to talk about it. I would love to be really wrong, but I have very low expectations for Jesterbell.
Fantastic Four's break-even point might be around 500 million, and it might get that.
It's a little bit lower than 500 million. It's not 500 million. These inflated break-even points are ridiculous with these guys. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. You're over-exaggerating. The break-even point is probably somewhere around 400 million, and they're going to get that for sure. So, narratives.
Still, but that's still really bad box office for a Marvel movie that was supposed to be really positively received. But
I mean, we're talking about people that expect all Marvel movies to make $1 billion. Look, optimistically, I would have loved to seen Fantastic Four come in and make $1 billion. But I talked about this for months about where it was placed strategically against Superman and Jurassic World and how everybody is taking less money for that. I actually think Superman would be probably $150 million higher in overall sales if Fantastic Four wasn't in the box office and Jurassic World wasn't in the box office, because I think those are direct competitions for that. I think everybody is suffering from that. Fantastic Four came out at the tail end of the month where a bunch of other movies were still in circulation and they were fighting for screen time. They were fighting for people's wallets. There's a lot of other things here at play about prioritization of families and things of that nature. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead here. Let's let her
I think
talk.
with this trajectory, it might not even get that, because in a
It will.
time when there is no competition,
Again, I'm sorry, I'm cutting off again. I made a video outlining how the movie could still break 500 million. Go check it out on my Eric's Reloaded channel.
there's not going to be any competition for months. We're already seeing
Right.
just all the money evaporate from this film. Like, I think it could still get
All
less
the
than 500 million. So this is the first year in, like,
If it gets less than 500 million, it'll still get close to 500 million. I would like to see it break 500 million, but that's going to require a few key things to happen. So the movie, like they would have to make 200 million internationally and 300 million domestically to get to that 500 million. And I think they could still do
the
that.
last 16 years of Marvel, where they have released 3 flops in a year. There was
Thunderbolts was not a flop. I know you guys keep saying that it wasn't a flop. A financial flop, even Nerdrotic keeps saying this. I saw him post something on Twitter about this. A financial flop is when a movie is in the box office for its full run and it doesn't make its budget back. This movie is going to make its budget back. So it's not going to be a flop. Will it underperform? Maybe, but it will not be a flop.
nothing in between that staved it off, like Guardians 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine or Spider-Man No Way Home, all were released in times where the year was not just completely flops. But this year, 3 flops from Marvel that they put out.
These are not Fantastic Four is not a flop yet. This is what I'm talking about when I say these guys don't want good movies. You don't want good movies. You are literally calling it a flop before it even gets into its 3rd weekend. This movie's going to be in theaters for another 3 weeks at least. And you're calling it a flop. It's going to make its production budget back. It's going to. This week it's going to cross 400 million. But you're already calling it a flop. Thunderbolts was not a flop. It just wasn't. So hyperbolic.
And this is just kind of creating a big moment online, because this is the movie that would seemingly have no excuse for it. And so
It's got tons of excuses for what's. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You made an entire fucking video with 5 reasons why this movie was not hype. You did that. You made an open letter to Marvel. You've made several videos about why this movie isn't good. So what is this revisionist bullshit? No, I'm not gonna let you hold that. I'm not gonna let you hold that. Not to mention, it was up against other movies and it came out in a very packed month. This is something that all the analysts have been talking about for the last year, since the dates were scheduled for these films. I'm not gonna let you have that.
making a lot of people realize, oh, maybe there is superhero fatigue, or maybe people really have abandoned
Superhero fatigue, while another superhero movie is currently overperforming expectations. You can't be serious, fam.
Marvel to the point where it doesn't matter if they release something good. Well,
So are you arguing that it is good? Are you arguing more revisionist history shit? Okay.
Fantastic Four was not good, as I said. If you go in thinking that it's going to be an unmitigated disaster,
Hold on, wait,
maybe
what did you
people
say
really
there?
have abandoned Marvel to the point where it doesn't matter if they release
I had to run
something
that back.
good. Well, Fantastic Four was not good, as I said.
Didn't you just a moment ago, not even 2 minutes ago, you said no one was saying negative things about it and that it was well received. You talked about the scores and everything. So now you're just dismissing all of that. You're dismissing all of that and going, well, it wasn't good. You can't even keep your grift together can't even keep your grift together, Jesterbell.
If you go in thinking that it's going to be an unmitigated disaster, then you're not going to get that. But I'm saying, and we all do this, the box office analysts, we all just become box office.
So are you calling yourself? Look, I would never even do that. I talk about box offices. I'm not a box office analyst. I'm not. I'm just a dude on the internet talking about the sales of a movie that's making money well above my pay grade for a bunch of really rich people that's never going to affect me at all. I'm not a box office analyst. And I would say, Jesterbell, based on your track record, you're not a box office analyst either. Let's see where you go with this.
Was not good, as I said. If you go in thinking that it's going to be an unmitigated disaster, then you're not going to get that. But I'm saying, and we all do this, the box office analysts, we all just become box office analysts all of a sudden describing what has happened with this movie. But
we don't. And the fact that you seem to be so confident about that is really sus. It's really sus. You're not a box office analyst. Matter of fact, you're very bad faith about most of your takes here. And that's why I've kind of become fascinated with Jesterbell in a way, because it's like, it's almost like people keep trying to tell me that you actually want movies to be better, but I've yet to come across any of your videos, and I just randomly pick videos of yours. I've yet to come across any video where you seem to be absolutely positive about anything, about any movie. It's always like the worst case scenario shit.
I've been on, covering this movie extensively for its entire marketing campaign. So let's get into why this movie is bombing. And it's not simple.
Oh, this is going to be good. I didn't know that's what we were going to do here. This is going to be good. I love these little lists that she has. These are fun, everybody. Grab a drink, grab something to eat. This is going to be hilarious.
Like it is, because people are fatigued by Marvel for reasons that I went over in the last video. Please click on.
I'm not clicking on that video. We are not doing that. I don't really care what those reasons were, because they're probably all bullshit.
On that, I already went over a lot of this, but yes, people have left Marvel for reasons.
So you've already so you're doing another video on the same thing? Are you just going to repeat the stuff you said in the other videos? We don't even have to watch that video then.
Since I gave in the last video, but this movie is not going to do anything to bring people back, even if it can be seen as just a mid film. The problem with Fantastic Four, we'll get into the actual movie itself, but
why are you rehashing a review on the Fantastic Four? Why are you doing that? What is the purpose of doing this? This is why I don't take these guys at good faith. Because if you want movies to be better, you would be talking about things that you think could make the movie better. But they don't do that. They don't do that. That's not their thing. They literally just shit on movies. That's what they do. They give their toilet paper and they take a big ass dump on movies.
Just look at the marketing campaign of this film.
It was successful. It's like they did what they wanted to do. They got a bunch of their money on that first weekend. The marketing campaign was successful. I know you keep trying to say it wasn't, but the marketing campaign is for the first weekend. Marvel's really good at front loading their movies. That's one of the problems they have. The second and third weeks are the ones where they start to struggle a little bit. The marketing campaign worked. I know you want to pretend that it didn't, but it did.
It is not that you couldn't have made the Fantastic Four work. I vehemently believe you could have gotten them to work. I read something earlier this year, Fantastic Four versus X-Men. It was an excellent comic. And all the four characters there were done so well. And there was a depth to each and every one of them.
Right. So your idea is to do a Fantastic Four versus X-Men movie. Because that's the only way a story like this would work, is if they put the X-Men in it. This is automatically no. A big old red X across
And I've been saying since the beginning, you did not do the Fantastic Four right. You know what got more hype than the movie this year did? Fantastic Four appearing in Marvel Rivals. What did Marvel Rivals do to make the Fantastic Four really appealing? Well, first of all, it made the Fantastic Four really hot.
Gooner bait. So your solution is they should have made the Fantastic Four really. So you're saying Vanessa Kirby's not hot? Is that what you're saying? Ben Grimm wasn't hot enough for you? This is a new complaint. Last time I checked, I think Pedro Pascal was always in the top 10 of hot guys. So unless you just wanted them like shooting one of those adult movies where there's a lot of extra stuff going on, Gooner bait would have worked for a family film. Games and movies are not the same thing. I know you want to believe they are. A lot of people in your space want to believe they are. They're not. The marketing is very different between games and movies. Marvel Rivals was already a popular game. They dropped these characters into an already existing popular game where there's no real stakes on storylines and things like that. you're trying to compare this, like the visual elements of this game, to the characters in a movie, actors in a movie. Okay.
Let's not beat around the bush there. Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm were really hot in their character designs, and that got a ton of discussion. But beyond that, the Fantastic Four were characterized exactly how they are in the comics, with those very loud, bright personalities that everyone wants to see.
Right. No comment.
In a game that portrayed it with the tone of the Marvel Universe. Didn't try to change anything. Didn't try to make any...
You're not a comic book fan. Fuck this. Like you're just not. You're just not. You're not.
Major changes to what these characters are. It just went with the tone of the Marvel Universe that the Marvel Comics people created. The Fantastic Four...
So you're saying the Fantastic Four Marvel Rivals is exactly like the Fantastic Four from the comic books. It's exactly the same. Yeah. Okay.
Throughout its entire marketing campaign, did everything the exact opposite of that. It cast...
They did? I mean, you guys were accusing them of being too touchy-feely. Like, I saw video after video of people complaining that they were touching each other too much, that it was too much hotness on display, I guess is the word. That people in interviews asking them sexual questions were inappropriate. But you're saying that the solution is more than that. You wanted more. So you wanted like ass out, tits out, like twerkalicious Sue Storm walking on the red carpet, stiletto heels, red bottoms, snatched hair, 3 pounds of makeup, ready to get dollars at the strip club. That's what you were looking for? Okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just think that's an unrealistic expectation for a Marvel film.
Actors who were mid, who are not fitting for their roles, who were not...
Yeah, because historically, Marvel only hires A-list actors. Pedro Pascal is more A-list than a lot of the people that were hired in phases 1 and 2. But I digress.
Exciting to people in these roles. They didn't even do a screen test or a chemistry test for them.
Already debunked that. They didn't need to because they spent almost a month working together, the 4 of them on stage, rehearsing and practicing these characters. Already debunked this. And she knows because she watches my videos. We've already done this, Jesterbell. But your brain dead audience isn't going to check you on that.
They were too old for their role. There was no cast.
Ages too. Interesting. Straight up, like, just go retire boomers type shit. Okay.
Here that was exciting for their roles. There was, dare I say it, there was no sex appeal to this movie, and that is necessary to getting these big action movies to sell. People like seeing hot people in films. So
hot is subjective. I just want to put that out there. I can guarantee you, I've never talked about it really, but the stuff that I find really hot is probably stuff that not everybody else would find hot. And I'm pretty sure there's some stuff out there that you guys are going, you know, people with like looking at feet and stuff like that, looking at shoulders, looking at necks. There's some people that love ears. Like, it's very subjective and it's cool. Like, whatever you like, you like. I'm okay with that. But to act like there's some blanket take on hotness. I mean, you're talking about how hot some cartoon characters are in a video game. Come on, give me a break.
There was no one who really looked great in their roles. They all look at Marvel Rivals with those sleek costumes versus this with their fluffy sweaters. Pedro Pascal was...
So you want like sweatpant print. You want to see like pole on display. So like, I can't see the print in his pants. Not going to support the movie. No pole, no dollar bills.
Completely miscast as Reed Richards. And guys, do you know what this box office...
That's so weird considering most people have said that he was actually a big surprise to them, how good he was. That's crazy.
This box office means? It means that we were right. Pedro Pascal is not a draw at the box office. He
One movie. We were right, everyone. We were right. He doesn't bring people in the box office because his pants weren't tight enough.
Never was. People have totally rejected him. He was completely miscast.
Totally rejected. Like she loves this because she hates Pedro so much. She's got a hate boner for Pedro. It's crazy.
As Reed Richards. But everything about this movie, I could sum it up. I could sum up
everything. It went like originally you were like, oh, it's not, if you go in looking for a disaster, that's not what it is. And now it's everything about the movie. Everything about the movie. Okay. I mean, just in the video here then. Like, what's the point? You got another, like, what, 14 minutes? Just end the video. If it's everything about the movie, just end the video. There's nothing else to be said, right?
Entire marketing campaign of fighting what the audience wants. That's the entire thing.
I love that these guys go into marketing. Anytime they want to complain about a movie, it's just always marketing shit. It's always about the marketing. You guys overestimate how popular marketing is when you're talking about like franchise IPs and stuff. You guys overestimate. Does it play a part? Yes. But it doesn't play the part that you think it plays. If you still think that's affecting the second weekend of a movie after they pretty much dialed back all of their marketing, I don't know what to tell you.
Marvel Rivals is an example of giving the audience exactly what
fuck
they want.
it. Fuck, shut the fuck up about Marvel Rivals. God. Shut the fuck up about it.
An exciting Marvel game with action sequences. The characters
games are not movies.
Because those personalities work.
Contrary to popular belief, games are not movies.
With them, and there's hot people. I'm not gonna get rid of that because we need to get back to the bare bones where we used to market to people's basic instincts to sell films. That's how they used to.
In the world where you don't believe that Vanessa Kirby or Pedro Pascal is hot is crazy, fam. It's crazy.
To do it, and that's what they need to do. This is doing what a lot of Hollywood has been doing for years, and that's why they're losing people. Is they're trying to change what people want. They're trying to say, no, you don't want that. You want this. And that's the whole thing with trying to market Pedro Pascal in this movie. Is they keep saying that no, he's the masculinity that you want.
So it's always conspiracy theory stuff. We talked about this on my video from the weekend where we talked about the AMA and what these guys do. It's always some like them, they. And then like us. That's always what it is. Hollywood is trying to convince us to do blah, 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 whatever. Hollywood panders to anybody that's willing to spend money. If you think Hollywood is trying to change what works, if you think that's what they're doing, they're willing to risk millions and billions of dollars to change how your boner works. You need help. Get better help. I don't know, call somebody. Hollywood notoriously follows trends. They don't set trends. Hollywood follows trends. They always pick the low-hanging fruit and just run with that. That's what they do. The fact that you think it's the other way around is crazy. That's again, I keep using that word, but I don't know what other word can I use? Ridiculous? Outrageous? I don't know. Naive? What other word can I use?
He's the heartthrob that women want. Women showed up with Jason Momoa in the first Aquaman.
And they didn't show up in the second one. So what happened? Did he suddenly become not hot? All of a sudden, nobody wanted him? If it's just about being hot, why didn't people come out for the second one?
Thirsted after him. They weren't doing that for Pedro Pascal. We said, no, this guy's creepy. There's no masculinity in this guy. We don't want this guy. And he failed. And he didn't bring people to the movie. But just everything about Fantastic Four. It's like...
Again, everything, but you keep adding. Do you understand what the word everything means? That means all of it. You said it like a minute and a half ago and you're saying it again, but then you keep adding on to it. And you keep going in on Pedro Pascal, which is really weird. I'll say it's really weird. Like, he's just an actor. Like, seriously.
Johnny Storm is this hot rod, a womanizing, devil-may-care character.
He's not a womanizer. We've already established this. You keep repeating it. You don't know what it means. Are you going to say one-dimensional? Please say one-dimensional for us. Just one time. Say one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional. Give us some dimensions.
In the comics, that's not appropriate for where we are culturally. We need to...
If you think Johnny Storm is a womanizer in the comics and that defines his character, go fuck yourself.
Tone him down. And I'll say they did tone him down in the movie. They said, well, he still hit on female Silver Surfer. If you know the personality that Johnny Storm is supposed to have, you would know he is very subdued, very toned down in the movie. All the characters are.
Subdued again. We're going to get one-dimensional, fam. We're definitely going to get it.
All of them. And so they said, no, that's not where we are culturally. Women don't like that. Yeah, we do. But you didn't listen. You said we like you like Pedro Pascal, right? No, we don't.
So women like to be womanized? That's crazy. Women like to be womanized? That's news to me. If you are a woman watching this video, please confirm, because Jesterbell said it, and I know women aren't monolithic, but please confirm for me, do you like to be womanized? If you're a woman. I would like to think no. Maybe I'm wrong.
You kept offering us stuff that we don't want, saying, no, yes, you do want this. Guess what? That's not how you sell a film.
So then the answer to that would be putting more women in charge of things, right? Like that would be the solution. If you think that what Hollywood is doing isn't speaking to what women want, then the solution to that, and I've said this before when it comes to just about any of these complaints, is more women being involved in filmmaking and being involved in the process of putting the film together in general, being on set, things like that. If you want women to be more in the forefront of all of this, then you need more women involved with the process of making these movies. But I can guarantee you would never ever say that. I can almost guarantee you would never say that. That's the answer, right? Okay.
You sell a film by giving the audience exactly what they want. That's why I was joking the other day about just do the Savage Land. It'll give people what they want. Dinosaurs and hot people. Anyway, like that's the entire movie. The people want Nora and Rad Silver Surfer. You did female Silver Surfer.
I mean, she was probably one of the best parts of the movie. That's pretty much universal across the board. Nora and Rad being in the film would not have worked with the script that the film had. So essentially, like you said, it's everything, I guess. So it's not just her. So even if Norrin was in this, so do you think, okay, let me unpack this here. So do you think putting Norrin in the movie would have made it better simply because it's Nora and Rad? Would that have made it better? I don't think so. I'm just going on the vibes you're giving. I don't think that would have made the movie better for you. But maybe just putting him in there and then having Johnny hit on him would have been good. Because, if Sue would have done it, that would have been a little weird, right? That would have been a little strange. So having Johnny hit on him, I agree. I think we should have had Johnny Storm hitting on the Silver Surfer in a relationship way. Why not? I think that would have been really cool. It's a little bit more representation for gay people in this movie. I think it would have helped. I think we could have probably saw another 100 million because of that. I actually agree with you.
Was she fine in the movie? I guess she was fine. Doesn't matter. It wasn't accurate to the comics. It wasn't accurate to what people want.
It is accurate to the comics. You just don't like the comic that it was connected to. And I want to also point out, these films don't have to be fucking accurate to the comics. They don't have to be. That is not a qualification for making these movies. Some of the best stories we've had from the MCU had nothing to do with the comic books. So that is a really, really dumb statement. That's a dumb take. That's a dumb take.
Just the basic stuff that you have to sell films with. You have to give the audience what they want. It looked like an entirely mid-Marvel movie. You put so much effort. And then that's the thing. Like, the marketing of the film was awful. It was...
We are beyond that. Aren't we beyond that at this point? What, like, didn't you already talk about the marketing? We're 9 minutes into the video. You did marketing like 5 minutes ago. Back to the marketing, I guess.
All of these interviewers doing these weird Twitter drag queen speak.
Do you think it's safe to say that Reed is the first capital D daddy in the MCU?
Well, first of all, it's not drag queen speak. Like, the daddy thing ties into Pedro's existence on the internet. But you just said you wanted more sexy. So now you don't want more sexy. Make it make sense, I guess.
Are there not other fathers in the
Oh, I mean
MCU?
daddy.
Get right into you, Vanessa. You've kind of become a social media icon for your force-filled, snatched fierceness face.
Oh God.
Trying to get people on board with the film when everyone was cringing about it. The most I saw the internet talking about this was to mock Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby because they're constantly touching each other and feeling each other up in interviews.
So do you want sexy or do you not want sexy? Like, a lot of people said this was too much, like touching because it was too sexy for these two and they didn't find it appealing. So, what do you want? Because we're talking specifically about the marketing, right? So how would they have marketed sexy any other way than having these two be affectionate with each other around each other? Like, does she have to go down and like do things to him? I mean, I don't really know. What else they would have done at this point? Can you enlighten me a little bit
Not
more?
appealing. This relationship that they had in interviews, this weird thing where this person who's her co-star in his 50s has to be led by her by his hand, and there's all these weird interviews about daddies and Vanessa Kirby's C-face and all that kind of stuff. People taking off their clothes, people feeling each other up. No one wanted that, but that's how you chose to market.
You just said a minute ago that's what you wanted, though. You wanted sexy, right? You wanted more of this. You say no one wanted it, but you were just advocating for it a few minutes ago. You said this was important advertising to make sure that there was sexy stuff, so we would be interested. I guess I guess, as I said before, that kind of stuff is extremely subjective. It's almost like you cannot determine what everybody finds hot and what they don't find hot. It's almost like that's something you really can't predict. Okay.
Market your movie. It's not appealing. It's not appealing. So we've covered the horrible marketing scheme for this movie where you're still fighting your audience. You're still not giving them what they want. Then how was the movie? It was mid. That's just the way it is.
Okay.
Let's compare it to Fantastic.
Wow, she's so assertive about that. Mid, but extremely high fan scores on almost every outlet. And I haven't seen any of the chuds like accused it of being manipulated. But it's mid because Jesterbell says so. Okay.
For 2005. Fantastic Four 2005 had a ton of problems with it. A ton of problems with it. But in the midst of all those problems in a film that ultimately didn't work for people, it did.
It still made less than this movie, by the way. Anyway, let's continue.
Get some things right, like the casting for The Thing in his arc, or the casting for Mr. Fantastic, who completely clears Pedro Pascal. That was perfect casting.
Clears Pedro. Okay.
The new Fantastic Four movie might not have the problems that the 2005 one does, but it doesn't do the things that it did right either. There is no character development in Fantastic Four 20.
We've already debunked this. There's tons of character development. She just keeps like saying that. There's tons of character development.
2025. No character development whatsoever. No one gets an arc.
Yes,
They didn't screen test the actors, and it shows. There is no charisma from anyone.
You're just repeating the same stuff now. They didn't screen test the actors. We have already debunked that by saying they didn't do one. However, the director followed it up by saying they didn't need to because they all got together for 3 weeks and did scenes together after they were cast. This has already been debunked.
Are either inaccurate to their comic book counterparts in the case
Not
of
true.
Pedro Pascal and Ben Grimm,
Not true.
or they're just subdued versions of those
Not true. You saying it over and over doesn't make it true. You can repeat it in 50,000 videos. It doesn't make it true.
characters. You did not cast actors of high caliber for these roles. Perhaps you
Pedro Pascal is like number 2 or number 3 on the list of the most in-demand actors in Hollywood. But of course you would say that list is manipulated. So that doesn't really matter to you. But I live in reality where that list probably does dictate who's in demand because he is cast in a lot of stuff. So, okay.
couldn't even get someone, and then they had no chemistry with each other. Pedro Pascal
Do you think that the actors in the first Fantastic Four were high caliber actors when they were cast, like all of them? Do you think that cast is more high caliber than the one that we have in the current Fantastic Four when they were cast back in 2005? You don't believe that. There's no way you believe that. Matter of fact, a lot of people again cast in the MCU in phases 1 and 2 were not quote unquote high caliber actors. That is just a dumb argument. It doesn't hold water.
and Vanessa Kirby, no matter how much they touch each other on the carpets, they had no chemistry with each other. And Pedro Pascal was the worst part.
I want to say out of all of the videos I've watched of hers, this one is the most insufferable so far. This is the most insufferable. She just keeps repeating the same stuff over and over and over again, hoping that she can just nail it and drill it into your head. She keeps doing that, hoping that's going to happen. Not like, I would say 70% of what you've said is just absolutely untrue. It's just absolutely untrue. It is literal brain rot. Like, there's brain rot and then there's literal brain rot. Literal brain rot is when you actively are projecting your brain rot onto everybody else. Like, you are just saying untrue things. And people in the comment section that like to give me shit about this, she is being false and fake about this. I don't believe that she thinks these things are true. And if she does, there's something wrong.
Of the film, completely unfitting for this role as just a sad man. It's bad writing in the film too. Your most interesting concept of the baby and having to protect the baby or the world.
It's bad writing. This is every chud take there is. Like chalkboard, like write down 5 chud takes. This is just all of them. All the chud takes.
Solved it in just a speech. You've been doing that in a lot of your movies lately. You've resolved things with a speech. You didn't want to actually confront it. So no character development. You didn't play it with your most interesting concept, and you had one action scene in the entire movie that was interesting.
There was probably about 3 or 4 action scenes, and I think all of them had something interesting about them. But again, you gotta sell your narrative, I guess.
It's mid. thoroughly mid. It's a thorough nothing of a movie. So when you've got characters that have been done wrong,
Nothing of a movie. How can you be mid but also be nothing? Mid equals nothing? I mean, is that so? The bar of mid is like right below mid, almost even to mid is nothing. Nothing. The movie. Okay.
so many times in the past, and you just release a movie after so many bad Marvel films that's really just a nothing. Of course, people aren't going to come back. Of course, people aren't going to come back. So
yeah, mid. Nothing is mid now. Like that's all the same thing. That's crazy.
when you see all these people acting confused about why this movie is bombing, it's really not.
You got all the answers right. I can't wait because my video with the real reasons why this movie is underperforming, like logical reasons, and I'm going to explain to you literal reasons why the movie is probably underperforming based on actual things, tangible things you can look at instead of all this. This is garbage. Like straight up, this is just garbage.
That confusing. Brand damage and a terrible marketing campaign and a thoroughly mid film at the end of it. Just because it was not as disastrous as Captain America Brave New World does not mean that it's a great film.
Well, who's making that argument though? Like, is that your argument? I haven't seen anybody making that argument, honestly. Like that because it's better than this, because it's performing better than Captain America Brave New World, that it's a great film? Is that the metric? Like, nothing else matters. It's just, it did better than Captain America 4, so it must be a great movie. That's a straw man argument. Nobody's making that argument.
People need characters that they can connect with. That's why when I was done with this film, I'm like, would I watch a sequel to this? No, because these character and actor pairings.
You would, because you could make a million videos out of it. 100, like, just be straight up. Like, keep it a buck. You would, 100%. That's all cap.
There's nothing that's connected me to them. I don't even know where they could develop them in the future because of how they've been established here. So this is a big reckoning moment for them where people have finally reasoned, we got our Rotten Tomato score back. Like, this is almost like the biggest, the worst case scenario for them because now they've gotten their supposed positive reception back, but no one's returning. So,
I mean, logically, this is a spoiler alert for my video. I'm going to talk about this in my other video. If everything points to a successful movie and it underperforms financially, there's always another factor that makes more sense, right? There's always another factor. It can't be like, the actors aren't hot, or Pedro Pascal isn't an A-list actor, or the casting was wrong, or it was a mid. Like, none of those things matter when every other metric points in a different direction. So financially, there has to be something else happening. That's why I'm saying these takes are so stupid. All of your subjective opinions about this movie, that does not equal, like, this is literally why the movie isn't doing well. And your title doesn't even matter. Superhero movies are dead. Like, you haven't even touched on that, really. You had a little blurb about it in the beginning, but Superman disproves that because it's doing well at the moment. Superman is doing better than Fantastic Four at the moment, which tells me that superhero movies are not dead. They're not dead. Matter of fact, let me see where Superman is right now. As of Sunday, August 3rd, when I'm filming this video, it's already over 550 million, where it's estimated to get closer to 600 million at the end of its run, like between 6 and 700 million. It's doing well. Like, superhero movies are not dead. That movie is coming off of the back of a failed universe, a failed franchise. So I don't see how you can argue that superhero movies are dead because Marvel is having some issues with their movies financially. Are you even going to touch on that? I mean, we have a little bit of time left in your video, but I feel like you're just spinning your wheels here.
what do they do now? They're finally starting to reason that people are gone from these movies. Like, that's what I've been noticing here. People only cared about my Fantastic Four videos if there was controversy behind them. And the reason why there's any kind of audience for that is because people are so disillusioned and even angry after all the bad things that have happened with Marvel. And kids are moving on. They're not going to see these movies. They like stuff like K-pop Demon Hunters, which is getting all the kids on board with it. They're moving on for these movies. I mean, Marvel hasn't made a movie that's really marketed to kids.
But they also went to see Superman. So what's going to happen is Spider-Man's going to come out, guaranteed hit. The Avengers movies are going to come out, guaranteed hits. So what's going to be the argument then? Those movies are going to make money. They're going to. Like, no doubt in my mind that those movies are going to make money. These three Thunderbolts, I was kind of iffy about. Captain America 4, the writing was on the wall. We knew that movie was going to be an uphill battle. Fantastic Four was kind of we're going to see where the films are right now with Marvel and this new, like, sort of standalone film or whatever. If anything, it tells me that maybe standalone movies are not the movies to make money for them. Maybe they need to keep some sort of connective tissue. Maybe that's one of the takeaways, logically thinking. Not all of this garbage you're saying.
It's in a long time. But I mean, if you look at something like Spider-Man, Brand New Day, which I think is going to be fine, not just as a movie, but at the box.
So you think it's going to be fine, then how are superhero movies dead? How are they dead? If you think that Spider-Man is going to be fine, how are superhero movies dead? That is in your title. So you're lying to your viewers. You're lying to your viewers in your title. If in fact you think this movie is going to be fine, then your title is a lie. See how that works? See how this works? See how this drives me up the wall?
Office as well. It's like, it's just a straightforward superhero movie that they're marketing here. It's Spider-Man. He's going to be fighting Hulk and Punisher. And
Spider-Man is literally the most popular superhero in the world, not even close. He is like 5 times more popular than Batman, which is the second highest one. It's not even close.
and there's some real Spider-Man villains behind it all, and it's what people want. And say what you will about Sony and their handling of Spider-Man, but they've always been pretty good at understanding the core of Spider-Man's character.
Sony and Marvel make these movies together. It's not just Sony. Now this is just bullshit. It went from being like mostly bullshit to just full on bullshit. Full on bullshit.
And preserving that brand. They've been very good about protecting the brand.
Except the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, right? That one, that movie that actually killed that trilogy. Except for that one, right? Except for all the other spinoffs that didn't work, right? All of those were great. You know what I mean? Like Craven, Madam Web, all of those, they're all great movies, right?
Spider-Man. So when I look at something like Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm like, yeah, this just sounds like a straightforward, conventional Spider-Man movie.
Even though most of the people in your space think it's going to be bad because it's based on one of the worst stories ever from Spider-Man's history. But go off, Queen.
It probably won't blow my socks off or anything, but I'll probably enjoy it. Versus Fantastic Four, which is actively fighting against who these characters are in the comics and doesn't want to do them and can't even figure out how to make their powers work on screen. Marvel Studios, Disney.
What? You are spiral. This is a crash out video. This is literally this is crash out happening on film. You just keep repeating the same stuff. I'm sorry that you guys are sitting through this. I apologize. This is crazy.
Marvel, Spider-Man is going to be done by Sony. Marvel, it doesn't know how to do a film anymore for people. It doesn't want to make the changes that people would actually come to see. You know what I would suggest beyond making sure
What was that?
Marvel, it doesn't know how to do a film anymore for people. It doesn't want to make the changes that people would actually come to see. You know what I
Was that like supposed to be an aggressive pun?
would suggest beyond making sure that you actually develop your characters, that you actually hire actors who are charismatic in their own right and have charisma and chemistry with each other. Yeah.
The slander against these actors is crazy.
You need to do that. That's the main thing. You need to develop your characters actually so people care about them. But I would advise stuff like introduce maybe a little sex appeal back into your movies because we've seen that actually works because that's what...
Yeah, clearly they did something. She's pregnant. I mean, did you want to be in the room when it was happening? Is that the standard? You wanted to be present? President accounted for. Got to make sure we get that sex appeal in there.
People want. Allow your characters' personalities, as flawed and as sparky as that might be, let those flaws come out, even if they're a little bit uncomfortable. Just allow us to see that. No one wanted your sanitized Fantastic Four with your Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal. Oh, this is what a good relationship should look like with Pedro Pascal.
Y'all, is she spiraling? Is this for real? Is this for real? This little crash out is wild.
As the leader. This is what women want from their masculine figures in media. All that stuff, all of your ideas with this stuff, all of your sanitization of these characters where you go, oh, we can't have that. We can't have that. We need to steer away from that. We need to make a safe movie. That's what everyone wants. Well, your movie's bombing at the box office right now. So all that stuff you were saying about where we are culturally and what your movie has to be, apparently you're not very in touch with the culture because you're...
She feels so... she feels so right and justified from the fact the movie is slightly underperforming right now. She feels so justified in this. It's pretty crazy. It's almost like she was waiting for this because she hates Pedro so much.
Your movie's flopping with all the changes that you made. Guys, you know what?
The flop language is on fire. Just every flop here, flop there, flop everywhere.
I think Doomsday's going to bomb at the box office.
What? They're bringing everybody back. Not just RDJ, but like everyone is legit coming back. The bomb prediction is out of control. You think Doomsday is going to flop at the box? Doomsday? You heard it here.
I 100% believe that because you've got 3 flops with characters that no one cares about going into this film. You've got the Floptastic Four, you've got the Thunderbolts, and you've got Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres, Falcon and Captain America or whatever they are. And you've got a concept that everyone, even the Marvel fanboys, have said they don't want. Tony Stark, Doctor Doom. There was no discussion about that post-credit scene whatsoever. No one is excited about that.
No one is excited about it. Interesting. I would say that there is a little criticism to Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom, but nobody talking about it is a major take. That's a major take.
Sounds like a disaster from the set where they're not even done filming yet and they still haven't written out the script.
They're not done filming yet. The script line is doing so much heavy lifting. Mystique opening her mouth. Y'all just love to believe anything and everything, really.
Because it sounds like something that was hobbled together in a panicked CEO meeting at Marvel because they can't bring people back. Well, I don't think that you guys have what it takes right now to make the changes that you would need to bring people back. And what are you guys going to do now?
But you just said Spider-Man was going to do well. So consistency, maybe? Possibly?
Are you seriously at this point going to go forward with an X-Men movie? Because what's going to happen with that is the same thing that's going to happen by Fantastic Four. It's going to be another assembly line Marvel movie that's really made by executives from a TV director that they can control. It's going to go out there.
The script reading is off the wall here. The script reading is off the wall. Like, honestly, if you just want to read directly from a script, get a teleprompter and just run it on your screen. There's free teleprompting apps. Like, you can literally just run it side by side and it would be less obvious that you're just reading directly from a script. And the thing about it is, if you're reading from a script, how are you so wrong about so many things? Maybe that's why she keeps repeating herself, because she goes off script and the only thing she can do is just repeat what she's saying. That's it.
Maybe it won't be panned by critics, but no one's going to care. X-Men hasn't done that well in the box office in a long time. You guys would need to build them up. Their biggest film was Days of Future Past, and they ruined their brand with Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. You guys have to build that brand back up, and you don't have the people for it right now. So are you seriously going to produce another film that's just going to go out to die?
So your solution isn't to fix things, it's just to stop making movies. That sounds like somebody that really loves this kind of content. Just stop making movies altogether. Why are you making movies? Marvel, why are you making films? Just stop. Just stop making movies. Why are you even trying? What's the point? It flopped before, so why even try now? Imagine saying that to DCEU now that the DCU seems to be doing really well. Imagine saying that. Why even try? It's not Henry Cavill. Why are you putting David Cornsweet in the Superman suit?
Because you don't have the people right now, just because you need to have something coming out next. That worked out wonderfully this year, didn't it? Where you had 3 films just because you needed to have something that came out. 3 films now that have flopped at the box office, and you're going to have a major flop with that Doomsday movie. What you need to do right now, you need to cancel some films. You need to cancel Secret Wars if you can. Fine.
Crash out, Bell. Cancel Doomsday. Cancel Secret Wars. All right.
Do another Spider-Man movie. But what's the point? Like,
they are doing another
throwing
Spider-Man
out more and more
movie.
films because you need something at the box office. What's the point if it's diminishing returns and it keeps failing and you're actually just...
Do you understand what diminishing returns is? Do you understand what that means? I don't think you understand. There's a lot of stuff that goes into production, a lot of money that changes hands, a lot of deals that happen that would refute diminishing returns on this. But you keep using phrases and terms that you don't totally understand. Diminishing returns. Do you understand how a tentpole franchise works? Do you understand how that works? They're all connected in IP. So when one of them does really well, the other ones get lifted up by the underperformed or by the better performing movies. That's how a tentpole franchise works. It really doesn't matter.
Sucking up the franchises and characters that you still have, when if you save them for the right time and the right people, you could have something good with that. It's the point if it's diminishing returns and it keeps failing, and you're actually just sucking up the franchises and characters that you still have, when if you save them for the right time and the right people, you could have something good with that. It's just unbelievable to me. And this is the problem with Hollywood at large. It's not just with Marvel, where they're constantly trying to fight what audiences actually want.
Do we even need to finish this video? I feel like you're just repeating the same stuff over and over and over again. This video could have been 10 minutes long. Why is this, you know what, we're done. Why is this a 21-minute video? What is the purpose of this 21-minute video? The first 10 minutes were literally the same 3 talking points over and over and over again. I guess you were doing for effect. You're like, I'm just going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, more dramatically, until I feel like I got my point across. And then the last, 7 minutes of the video, you've tried to like move beyond your talking points, but then you just keep going back to them over and over and over again. This could have been a 10-minute or less video. I feel like 21 minutes is a waste of time. You talk about them wasting time. Like, you know what? Matter of fact, Jesterbell, why do you put out so many videos? Why do you do that? If you're talking about quality, why are you putting out so many videos that are just repeating the things that you've said before? This is probably, I think, the 3rd or 4th video you've done about the Fantastic Four, and you have only slightly changed what your talking points are in each video. And every time somebody suggests something to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. They sent it to me on Twitter. They sent it to me on Discord. I'll give it a watch. And then I come in and I'm like, okay, you're just saying the same stuff you said in the other video. This is ridiculous. Look, if you want to hear someone really break down logically why these movies are probably having a tough time at the box office right now, go and check out my video on my Eric's Reloaded channel. If you're subscribed here, go subscribe to that one, Eric's Reloaded, where I do different types of content, where I do deep dives and things like that. Go subscribe to that one, and it'll show you guys what the actual issue is, what I believe, I should say, the issue is with Fantastic Four, and it has nothing to do with any of this bullshit. I literally don't even talk about any of this. Like, this is all nonsense. Go over and check that out on my Eric's Reloaded channel, and give me a subscribe over there. Matter of fact, subscribe to this channel. For the first time watching my videos, subscribe to this one and check out my library. I have a ton of videos where I react to these content creators who are just trying to grift off of outrage. And we do that over here. That's what we do. And we do live streams twice a week. The Nocturnal Nerdcast streams to both channels. And there you go. So thank you guys for watching so much. I hope that didn't rot your brain too much. So we'll see. Kind of check out a little bit. And then go have a breather. Go outside and touch some grass. It'll definitely help. I don't know if it'll help Jesterbell, but it'll help you. Thanks, everyone.